And welcome back to another installment of our Illustrator series. So this will be more of a micro lecture. It's not as detailed as one of my larger ones, but we'll still be covering a lot of ground. So the purpose of creating what I call a library is so that we can have a whole handful of graphics that we can import into our projects this whole entire semester. And I'll show you a few things and how we do that, an entire process. But essentially we'll be filling out this chart here, and it tells you the item, what you need, and how many. And if you have any questions on what deciduous or coniferous means, go ahead and check out that module. I link some other pages that will give you more information on that. But let's get started. So you can see that I already imported 4 deciduous trees in Plan view. And deciduous just means that the leaves fall during the winter. And so I have these 4 here, and I want to make sure that these are embedded. So embedding is really important if we're saving a file like this as a library. And to make sure that they're embedded, I'll simply go up to Window, Links, and then what I'll do is I will just make sure that there's not a tiny link symbol here. And the reason that there isn't is because I already embedded them. So I'll show you how to do that moving forward. But I want to teach you about this file style here. So these files right here that I imported are called PNGs. I have more information in the module that will detail out what a PNG is and what that stands for. However, to keep it simple, a PNG means that the background is clear. So if I were to move this tree up here, this one as well, you can see that these are clear. I don't have anything in the background. And the application of this is that it will allow us to go into other drawings and overlay this over items and make it much easier to place and arrange, and we don't have any white backgrounds overlapping over items. So that's the purpose of why we're working with PNGs. And so I will show you quick how to search for PNGs. And to do that, you'll just need to pull up a tab on Google. And one more thing, make sure to download the template here. I list out everything you'll need in this template, and it's literally what I have here minus the trees. So please use that for this project. So I'll go to Google Images. And one method I can do is trees and plan PNG. And in plan simply means that we're looking from bird's eye view. And if I want elevation, that means I'm looking at it from the side. So keep that in mind. I do have that distinction covered in this module, so please make sure that you're paying attention to that. So let's go to Trees and Plan PNG. And then what you'll do is you'll simply drag and drop these from Google onto your desktop. And I call this the catfish phenomenon. So if you were to drag and drop this right here, that looks like a PNG because it has that transparent background that usually signifies that there's nothing in the background. However, if I open it, I can still see it. And to prevent that from happening, unfortunately it does happen, I can go to Tools, Advanced Search, and then underneath where it says File Type, I can change that to PNG. That won't completely solve the issue, but it will greatly reduce the amount of catfish I get. So here, for example, if I click here and enlarge this, I can drag and drop that. You can see it's very clear I don't have any background. Well, it shows up after I save it on the desktop, but look what happens when I drag it in here. Okay, it's clear. And remember, we need to hold down Shift to maintain proportion and click and drag to get that here. And I want to make sure that these are all lined up all nice and neatly, so make sure to have care and craft when doing that. Okay, I will just show you a few other things too. Let's do a different tree type. Let's do coniferous trees in plan. We'll try it like that. Okay, and there you go. You have some good ones here. And you can just click and drag those. We'll do this one right here. You know, that's actually not a pine tree. It also goes by pine tree, so we'll use this one as our pine tree. Okay, and that happens. That one actually wasn't a PNG, so I'll keep looking and I'll find something. And if the term coniferous isn't working, you can use the word pine tree. That works just as well. And I'd make sure to pick one that you're happy with. Some of these are not the prettiest, so make sure to be picky with this. Hey, that looks like it might be close enough. So that looks pretty good. So what I'll do is I will drag that in there, and I will use that. Okay, and that is a deciduous tree. Totally fine for just our demo, so make sure to grab the right tree when you're looking on the internet. And what I want to do is I want to embed this file. And so what I'll do up here, again, I will go to Window, Links, and then underneath that, do you see here how it has a link? I want to make sure this is selected. Go up here to the 3 horizontal lines, click, and what I want to do is I want to hit the word Embed Images. Okay, and now that is now saved in the file. A few other things, housekeeping things before we wrap up, is please make sure that you're saving all PNGs onto this layer here, okay, and then lock it once you're done, and then make sure to maintain craftsmanship and have everything lined up neatly. And then if you have any questions, go ahead and reach out, and feel free to rewind this video and slow down certain portions if needed. Thanks.